Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for being here, Ms. Galante. As you know, last week on July 17th, I wrote to you about a stress test that was conducted but not disclosed to Congress or the American people, and I have not gotten anything back in response, so I want to ask you about that. It's really troubling to a lot of us that the only reason we know about it is Wall Street Journal happened to report on it. Wall Street Journal wrote that it was a, quote, hidden report based off of annual tests done by the Federal Reserve Board, and it projected losses over 30 years that could reach as high as $115 billion, close quote. First of all, will you submit the full unredacted stress test report for the record of this hearing in the next few days?
Senator, let me say first thank you for the question, and also say that there is no, quote, and I'm going to use the quotation marks here for the transcriber, there is no, quote, hidden report. If I could give you the background on, I believe, what the Wall Street Journal article was referring to, the annual actuarial review is a, 8-month-long process, and there is substantial conversation back and forth between FHA staff and the independent actuary performing the actuary on our behalf, and one that we, submit to Congress and also write a report on. That back and forth includes data collection, data analysis, conversations of what model changes we might want to deploy this year from their perspectives, what model changes FHA might want to deploy from our perspective. They've got IG input, GAO input into what happens to goes into the actuarial each year. And I think what this report is referring to is the actuary at one point in an early draft did provide a economic scenario that included a Fed stress test. By the way, is not a report, is a line or a column in a chart with a variety of other economic range of factors.
Let me back up. Is there a Fed stress test?
So again, the independent actuary, when in an early draft of the report, showed to FHA staff a chart that had a, quote, a Fed stress test as one of the scenarios in that report.
Will you submit for the record all of the information regarding that Fed stress test that FHA has? So
again, I would say we have, you know that the Wall Street Journal article that you're referring to is subject to Congressman Issa's oversight committee. We have been very cooperative with his committee in providing all of that data that they've asked for, and so anything that we've provided that I defer to him in terms of.
Well, I'll defer to him too, and he tells me that they have not gotten the Fed stress test and everything regarding it they have asked for. Will you make everything FHA has with regard to that Fed stress test part of the record of this hearing?
So again, all I can say is we have given them everything that we have around
Forget about
this.
them. Will you make part of this record that Fed stress test and any material you have regarding it?
I don't, we've been responsive to every request that they've asked for. We don't have any additional information.
I'm making a request. Forget about them. Will you make the Fed stress test and any information you have regarding it part of this record?
Again, I would defer to Congressman Issa on that.
So if he says you will, you will?
We have given them everything that we have.
I'm not asking about his request. I'm making a request to make part of this Senate committee record the Fed stress test and material you have regarding it. I think that's a reasonable request for the Oversight Committee of FHA.
So Senator, what I'm trying to say is that I don't have that information. I have what was given to us in a draft report.
Whatever you have regarding the Fed stress test, whatever that is, whatever universe that is, will you make it part of the record of this hearing?
We can do that.
Thank you. Okay, I would also note with regard to this, an senior FHA official was quoted in this article as saying, quote, while the agency still wanted to present the results of the Fed stress test to other government agencies, we just do not want that analysis to be in the actuarial review report. In congressional hearings, it's quite possible that we will be required to present this information on the record, but that will be well after the actuarial review is released and the initial media coverage takes place, close quote. Again, my time is up, but let me just say that's very concerning. Did you approve this strategy, this decision, as the decision that's reflected in that quote?
So again, I can't speak to the quote. I'm not even sure who it was from, but I can say that there was back and forth between FHA staff and the actuarial, not just on this, but on many, many items about what would ultimately be included in the report. It's an independent actuary. It's their decision at the end of the day what information they're going to include in that report.
Thank you.